Oh, the hammer's out! Corey's looking for blood!
Overwatch is a game of adaptation. We've all been faced with some bonkers Symmetra and Torb strategy that makes us wonder if we're too good for our skill rating, or too low for that matter. Well, in week 9 of the 2020 Overwatch League season, Toronto had to adapt to deal with a unique threat, the Swedish king of goo, Torbjörn. While typically overshadowed by the sharp point-and-click ability of McCree, or outpaced by heroes with regular-sized legs, Torbjörn became a mainstay in week 9 because of his ability to shut down flankers like Tracer and Sombra with McCree removed from the weekly hero pool. The turret, however immobile, is a trusty weapon to deal with even the most cerebral of Overwatch League players. So how do the pros actually work around it? The answer is Lúcio. In this match, Toronto decides to play a close-range engage composition featuring the back-to-back 1984 Super Punch-Out champion, Doomfist, and the shotgun-armed Reaper to overwhelm the enemy in a heartbeat. While reliable for forcing your opponent tanks to rage quit, the composition does fairly poorly at dealing against any long-range targets, in this case Torbjörn's stalwart turret. And so it is up to the main support to deal the damage. The reason it works so reliably is not only because of Lucio's ability to sustain himself in battle using his crossfade ability, but also because his gun does not have fall-off damage. To explain fall-off damage further, here is Soe with Nori.
Fall-off damage is when a hero does less damage than normal because they are farther away from their target. For example, a McCree can be deadly with his revolver up close, but if an enemy stands a bit too far away, the revolver acts more like a spray bottle. A hit scan kind of spray bottle anyway. So, while a McCree can dispose of a Pharah in 3 shots up close, that turns into 6 shots from 40 meters away.
Thank you, Zoe. No wonder Nori is so smart. Anyway, with that out of the way, all you really need to know is that Lúcio does 80 damage per burst, which when added up against a Torbjörn turret, turns out to be quite a lot. In this initial fight, Stratos deploys his turret on the inside entrance to grant it a long line of sight, while also making it difficult for Toronto to dive onto it and remove it from the battlefield. Washington engages on the back of Corey's initiation.
It's chaos! And here we go! Oh, get wrecked!
And despite losing Beast,
this map's gonna be a slug.
Kareem,
Get out of my house!
and agilities,
That's the real Space Jam.
Toronto does a fairly good job of disengaging to ensure that they can recontest quickly. This is where the adaptation happens. In the next fight, the Defiant's Lúcio, Kellex sets his sights for the Torbjörn turret. While Kellex has the option to force damage onto Washington's team, the turret cannot be healed by AimGod's Moira or Ark's Lúcio, and therefore his damage is more likely to stick to a mechanical turret. Kellex picks it off, but Stratos redeploys a second one. But Kellex is right back at it again, and Nevix finishes off the second turret and leads the Defiant into a fight where half of Torbjörn's kit is already dealt with. The advantage is worth its weight in gold, and Toronto ends up recapturing the point on the back of it. Jumping forward, let's travel to Route 66, where Kellex's ability to deal with the Torbjörn turret had Defiant push the gas and engage. With slightly over 1 minute remaining on the timer, Washington secures a great vantage point for Torbjörn's turret to rain damage from afar. However, Kellex recognizes the turret and starts dealing with it right away. Forced to push the payload and try to engage off the turret placement, the Justice step up to the plate, but soon hesitate as the turret goes down in the kill feed. For the Defiant, it's time to strike. Knowing that the turret will be back in a matter of seconds, Toronto takes this opportunity to engage, and well, Kellex can't take credit for Beast's beautiful shatter, but he at least opened up the window for the Defiant to take advantage of.
Now that was crispy!
Now, recognizing small wind conditions like this can make all the difference in Overwatch, and these are 2 beautiful examples of Toronto adapting on the fly, making the theory work in practice. Kellex ended up with the most turret kills in a match this weekend, and they didn't even get to see teams play this composition first. And so I guess, the Denmark vs Sweden storyline continues. Well done, Kellex.